Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Maria Gonzalez podcast. I'm your host, Maria, and guess what? Today I am doing a solo episode, and I wanted to talk about the power of your intuition and how the tarot can open it up and why I love tarot so much. So, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, in the beginning of my journey, because after I had a severe back injury when I was 30 years old, guess what? I became a medium. But I was not ready to tell the world that I was a medium. So what I actually did is I got into tarot because I figure if I have behind the cards, you don't know I'm a medium. But the powerful thing about tarot, it opens up your intuition. And we're all intuitive. So if you are asking yourself, am I intuitive? Am I kind of intuitive? I'm not really sure if I'm intuitive. Guess what? Every single soul that is born, that is having an earthly experience, you are intuitive. You are connected to the divine. You're connected to source. You're connected to whatever you want to call that energy, if it's goddess energy, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. We are connected to something so much greater than ourselves, and we are all interconnected, which I think is so amazing once you start to think of it that way, that we're not a soul completely alone on this world. We're so interconnected, and our energy is so expansive, which is amazing. And when you start thinking about that for a moment, um, why wouldn't you be intuitive? Why wouldn't you be able to connect with other souls and tap in and do readings or tap into your own soul for daily guidance, which is my favorite thing to do? And when you say intuition and intuitive, it's that gut feeling that you have that, oh, this doesn't feel right, or this feels perfect. I have butterflies in my stomach. And you tune into that clairsentience that's in your belly, that's where the seat of the soul is, which is your clairs, right? So the clairsentience lives there. And it's like, how does that feel? When it's a yes, it's butterflies in your belly. It's that excitement, is that vibration of joy, joy, joy. Kind of like New Year's Eve, like, oh, I'm super excited. And when it's a no for your body, guess what? You don't feel so good. Maybe you feel like you're going to throw up, your stomach, maybe you get a sharp pain in your stomach. That's your no. And that's your clear sentience at its basic saying, heads up, here's your yes, here's your no. And as you develop it, it will get stronger. It's like everybody, because maybe sometimes you feel like, well, I'm not intuitive, but you know what? Maria's super intuitive. Well, guess what? I didn't get here overnight. It takes time to learn to trust your intuition. It's like going to the gym. You have to exercise that muscle daily. So, one of the things that I love to do, and I highly recommend this for anybody that wants to open up their intuition through the tarot, is do a card of the day. Pick a card of the day. So, here. I'm gonna pick this one. The full card. This will be our card of the day. Let's pretend to pick this one. Uh, so when you tune into this card, like even the image, what's it all about? Like if you look at his head is in the clouds. He is just like he's on a mission. He's got like that little white rose in his hand. He's trusting. He's got white again. So when I see white within the tarot cards, that means you're protected. That is the divine. And then let's look at all that yellow. Well, that yellow is your solar plex energy. It's that doing energy. Is I am going to move forward with my life. And he's looking up, and it's almost like he's a dreamer. He doesn't see that the cliff's about to end. He doesn't really care. And the little doggy, again in white, is following him along. Like, where are we going? This sounds so exciting. And he's got like a pep to his as he walks, a skip, not a pep, a skip to his walk. And you can just feel the freedom that, like you're doing something, you're so excited about it. You don't really know how it all ends. You have no idea. You don't know the details, but you're excited to start the journey. And you're not really paying attention to the details because if you were, you would have seen the cliff ended. But you're not. You're looking up at the sky, up at the divine, knowing you are fully protected. And in that moment, life is amazing. So when I tune into this card, and this is just from looking at the picture and picking up what I see within the card is going to trigger memories within me. See, just like I explained, like the colors, because back in the day, I trained to be a Usui Reiki master teacher. And when you're learning Reiki, you're learning all about the chakras and the colors. So in North America, the colors associate that way. I know in other parts of the world, the colors may be a little bit different associated with the chakras, but for over here, that's what resonates with me, the traditional colors here in North America. And yeah, so then I go with that. I go with, well, what do roses mean? When I think of roses, I think of falling in love. I think of joy. I think of happiness. So it's like it triggers memories with you, within you. It triggers a feeling. So this is my card of the day. This is the beginning. And then what I'm going to do with this card is I'm going to set it aside on my table. And then back in the day, in the beginning of my journey, I would write everything down. So it's good to write it down in the beginning. And then I go about my day and I would see what happened. So for myself, like today, I am off to Brazil. It's a new journey. I'm super excited. I have no idea what's going to happen. I am trusting that I will be fine. I'm looking up at the sky and I am just in that happiness, joy vibration. And, with the little loyal dog, got my suitcase over here, smelling the roses, knowing I'm divinely protected because there is the white sun and the yellow, that's a doing energy because I'm going to get on a plane. So I am doing it. It's no longer a dream of one day I will. It's, yeah, today is the day, and today is the day I'm going to get on a plane and go and meet my family. Many for the first time that I haven't seen them, and then others I haven't seen since I was a wee little girl that we used to meet up when we would go to Portugal. So I would see them when I was tiny, like 8, 9 years old. So tiny, tiny. So it's safe to say I'm a little bit older now. So it's been a few years. So I'm super excited. And that's my fool's journey. I don't know what's going to happen, but I trust it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And I am in that joy vibration. I am in that happy vibration. And then if you pull this card, look how your day goes. And then at the end of the day, reflect and see how spirit, your guides, had this card show up for you within your life. And then the next day, you do the same thing. You'll always ask Spirit, what is it that I need to know today for my highest good? And see which card that you pull. So here is, let me do the magician. So if I pull the magician, and I'm starting the tarot course, but uh, do I have all the tools that I need to start the tarot course? Absolutely, knowing I'm connected to the divine. Again, there's the roses. There's so many beautiful roses here. And then there is the white. Again, the white. So that is all about that protection and the red. Ooh, the passion. But we can also use this. Well, wait, before I go there, then we got the infinite symbol. So you are always connected. You have the diploma or the knowledge, whatever you want to call it. Different people call this scroll different things. So it's whatever it triggers within you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, within the tarot, if you start looking back on the history, there are so many debates, which I find so interesting. Does it belong to us? Does it belong? Is it part of Christianity? Because you're going to see there's a lot of Christianity within the cards. Others say there's a lot of Kabbalah within the cards. Others say there's a lot of astrology within the cards. So there's a lot of a lot of stuff. So it's just what resonates with you. And what you're going to pick up in the cards is the knowledge that you already have, because spirit always uses what you have. I like to call it the file cabinet because the file cabinet of your life of knowledge throughout your life. And what does spirit use? But let's pretend you pick the magician card, and this card is actually a perfect card. You're going off to university. You have all the basic tools because you have your high school diploma, you have all the knowledge, you have the passion, you have the drive, the yellow, you have the flowers, like the miracle of learning, that joy of learning, and so much growth because you're going to grow so much. So, what I want you to do as I'm going through a couple of cards is just start to see the tarot in your daily life. So, if you pull this card, it means you have the basics that you need, but you're going to create so much more with that. And you have the foundation that you need. And I don't know, maybe you're going to work for the first time. Maybe today's the your first day of your job. Well, guess what? You have that degree, you have that diploma, you have that training, the foundation that's here on the table. That is going to make you super successful within your job. You just got to look at it that way. And then, you got infinite knowledge because you're always learning. We're always learning. Here, the scroll, we're always connected to the divine, to our intuition, to source that will always guide us. And then the problem we have as humans is we need to trust it because we don't. And we need to listen to that inner voice because how many times have you not listened to your inner voice or listen to that intuition, and then after you're like, oh darn, I should have listened. Why didn't I listen? Why did I talk myself out of? Or even worse, why did I let them talk me out of something I really wanted? So this is all about creation because what does the magician do? They create. So that's fun card. Ooh, this one's one of my favorites. So if you pull this one out, the High Priestess. So when you look at this card, even when I just see the black and white, that reminds me of balance. The cross, all about faith, trust yourself. And she's got, looks like a little crystal ball up there. And the blue, when I look at blue within tarot, it's all about trusting your intuition. And then, of course, the High Priestess is that powerful feminine energy. We have the moon, so it's that manifesting energy. So if you pull out this card, like first thing in the morning, trust your intuition. That's what that is. And then you got like the Torah there, right there on her lap. Trust the knowledge that you get. Trust the downloads that you get throughout the day. Just trust, 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 trust. Do not talk yourself out of whatever is happening throughout your day. So then you would place this down on, again, you can create a little altar if you want. I like to just put it on top of the table. I just like to put it on top of a table, a little bit popped up. So when I walk by, I always see it. Doesn't have to be a special table. You can create a little altar. That's really cool if you have the space. But if you put it on your bedroom stand, and then that kind of reminds you, hey, sometimes I used to lean it against my lamp like my bedroom lamp. So when I wake up, I would do my little cards and then I would put it there just so I wouldn't forget before I go to sleep to look at the card again and kind of do the daily review within my mind and be like, oh, that's where that card came in. And, as you're trusting your intuition, as you're going throughout your day, maybe you're at work and somebody says something to you and you're like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Question it. Question it. Don't be scared to question if it doesn't feel right. It is your birthright to trust your intuition. It's what's going to guide you. It's what's going to get you from point A to point B. It's what's going to keep you safe. It's what's going to keep you abundant. It's what's going to lead you to synchronicities because you're trusting your intuition. And then, as you go about your day, then at the end of the day, look back and be like, where did I use my intuition? Because that's so cool. And this is the beginning of the journey of how you open up your intuition. And you really got to trust it. And let's say in the beginning, you pull a card and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I read it right. I don't know if this works. Just be kind to yourself in the beginning because you are learning, if you've never done this, to trust that inner voice, trust that inner compass. And guess what? It gets stronger and stronger. And you're going to start looking around at your life and you're going to get so excited because I know I do when I trusted. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then if you guys have been following along, I was sharing how I manifest trips where I have that inner knowing. I just know I'll get a download and I will hear specific dates from spirit, the month, the date that I will be going away on vacation. And I trust it. I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea who I'm going with. I don't know if I'm going by myself, if I'm going with people. I just know that week, those days. I'm going to be away on vacation. I know it's going to be out of the country. Um, and I trust it. And each time I've trusted it, it has gotten stronger. But I will say in the beginning, I never trusted it. I didn't really trust my intuition. I would get stuff and be like, I don't know about that. And then I made that cardinal mistake of asking well, what do you think? I kind of got this download. What do you think? Do you think it's true? And it's like when you do that, you are giving your power away because you're not trusting what you are getting from you, from your soul, And again, it's whatever you want to call it. If you're like, it's from my higher self, fantastic. It's from my spirit guide, fantastic. It's from the divine, fantastic. Use the word again that feels comfortable for you. But at the end of the day, it is your soul, and we are connected to the divine and you're not trusting the whispers of your soul. But been there, done that, and I don't do that anymore. But with the trips, it's just there, I don't question it now. I'm still, I'm always practicing. Now I kind of got to filter that to my whole life. And I've put that intention like I am so trusting spirit as I go through it. I'm trusting the downloads 100% without a shadow of a doubt. I don't question the downloads anymore. So and the downloads, because you'll hear the word download, so people will be like, what is that? It's that idea, that inspiration that comes to you. You weren't thinking about it. So maybe you're cooking. I find I get it when I go for walks, when I walk my dogs, because I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just like outside enjoying the beautiful fresh air. And I have two tiny little puppies that need to smell every single blade of grass, every fire hydrant, talk to every little puppy on the road, on the street, in the neighborhood when we go for walks. So I am not thinking about anything. And because I'm not thinking about anything, I am so open to my higher self, to the divine, to spirit for put doing the drop-ins of inspiration, the drop-ins of ideas, and it's really cool. So that the drop-ins and that inspiration, that's called claircognizance. That is that inner knowing. You know without a shadow of a doubt that that's going to happen. Well, guess what? As you do the tarot, it gets stronger. All of your clairs will get stronger. Whatever clair you work with, you'll just know it will get stronger. And then please don't do this. Do not compare yourself to the next person. Be like, well, I don't know, so and so over there, they're so much more clairsentience. They feel so much more. They must be better. Or I've heard this one. This one's my favorite. Uh, are you clairvoyant? Because the clairvoyant psychics, the clairvoyant mediums, they're so much better than everybody else because they see pictures or they see movie clips. And it's like, no, 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 no. We are all different and we all receive information different, which is amazing. It's like your fingerprint. It is unique to you. Well, guess what? Your intuition is unique to you. So honor and trust that. And if you were comparing yourself to the next person, and maybe you're a psychic or a healer or a medium, or maybe that's just your thing. You're got a lot of self-doubt and you're like, I don't know if I could trust myself. Guess what? Trust, trust, trust. Because the first time you trust, it's super exciting. Or the first time you don't trust, wow, what a lesson there is there when you don't trust your intuition. Because at the end of the day, you're kicking yourself. You really are. Because I've had those moments where I'm like, darn, I knew it and I let so and so talk me out of it. I knew what I was getting, that inspiration to do something was the right thing for me. Because we're not talking about everybody else, we're talking about us, me, our listening to our inner voice, listening to spirit, letting them guide us along our journey so we can get aligned with our soul's purpose. And the thing that I love about the tarot is the Empress card. Oh, the Empress card is fantastic. but it opens the doors because it opens the doors to possibility because now you are listening to your intuition. So when you are looking at this card, some people call this the pregnancy card. And I remember when I was learning Reiki, so many people would be like, "Oh my goodness, are you pregnant? Are you pregnant?" Because I guess I had that birthing energy because that's what the Empress is. Yes, it can mean someone is going to have a baby, but it wasn't me. I was getting deeper and deeper into spirituality. I was exploring more and more. So I was birthing something new within my life, full of abundance, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I will say, in the beginning, it was a little bit rocky, bumpy because I had a back injury, grew up with a Catholic faith, but for the longest time, I really struggled. Well, is this good? Is this bad? Is spirituality good, bad? Like you have those struggles. Maybe you've had, I know I have, because it goes against like the grain of your foundation. If you have a religious foundation, it's like, oh, am I going to go to hell? No, you're not. And it's just learning to become one and not to be two separate people. So it's all about embracing who you are. So I was going through the journey of the Empress. So when I would pull this card in the morning is what am I birthing that's new? What do I continue? Maybe it's, it's an idea. Maybe you're a creative person. So then bring this into your life. Maybe you're in school and you got a project. Maybe you're at work and you got a project. Maybe you're building a new house. Maybe you are decorating your home. Maybe you're decorating a bedroom. This is all about birthing ideas and creating an abundance. Um, and it's just, this card is magical. It's all yellow. See the yellow? Because yellow is that doing energy. What do we do? This is what I always tell my students when easy ways to remember colors. What do we do when the sun is out? Ever since you're like 5 years old, what color is the sun? What color does every single kid paint the sun in kindergarten? Yellow, 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 yellow. And yellow is bright and the sun is out. And what do we do when the sun is out? Everybody, all your neighbors are out. They're either cutting the grass, talking to each other, they're out making their garden look beautiful, walking little puppies like I do, socializing, riding your bike, going on trips, going on vacations. It's that yellow. It's that you're out there, you're doing. So that's one way to remember what the color yellow means in tarot. I actually love teaching with the Rider Waite tarot deck. So I always use this one. I use the giant deck. If you're taking the course and you're going to sign up, you don't need the giant deck. I do the giant deck because I teach on Zoom, and let's face it, it's so much easier to see the card than if I had a teeny weeny little one or the regular size ones. You wouldn't be able to see the details of the cards, and I wouldn't be able to point it out as well just because the size. I like the size. I learned it with this size. My teacher, she had taught me with that. So it's all about trusting your intuition. So we did the claircognizance, that, sorry, we did the claircognizance, that inner knowing, and then clairvoyance. So what is clairvoyance? So that's the seeing. You'll hear that a lot. It's like I see an image, I see a movie clip. I am very clairvoyant, and then I will see objectively, which means I will see in 3D. So that's always interesting. In the beginning, it was really hard, and I was so terrified of it because all of a sudden I see spirit and there's an extra person in my house. So my mind is like, oh my God, are we getting robbed? Where did this extra person come from? Or there would be a lot of screaming because it'd be like, ah, because like, where did this 3D person come from? Last time I checked, there weren't that many people in my house, and I don't know who this person is. Now it's I push that down, that ability down, 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 and now it's starting to come up, but I notice spirits bringing it in more gently. So now I'm starting to see people's animals 3D, and it's like it's the coolest thing. And my mind's just like, oh, that ability's coming back. Because I will say, if you guys have a certain Claire that you pushed away because it scared you, guess what? Sooner or later, spirit will push it back up, but maybe it's always, I find, a little bit different than what it was. And then you'll be ready for it. So don't be scared of your ability. So when I talk about the clairs, because you have your intuition, and the clairs is your psychic. And the clairs just say, well, how am I psychic? Am I more just a knowing psychic, just a feeling psychic? Do I see image psychic? So it's the mechanics of your intuition. And I think that's super, super cool. When you're doing psychic, do you guess everybody's future like a fortune teller? No, but you are able to tap into the energy that is the strongest, knowing everybody has free will, and the energy that you tap into today, a month from now, you may go back and it changes. And then I always hear people, well, I can't read for myself. I don't get downloads for myself. I don't get stuff for myself. I get stuff for myself all the time. I think spirit does. We just, one, I feel like sometimes you hear, because I've always heard it, you can't do this for yourself. You can do it for other people, but you can't get downloads for yourself. And it's like, yeah, you can. So then it becomes a belief system. What do people tell you and what do you believe? Then that becomes your truth. I want you guys to be so open to so many possibilities without limits. You are magical. You can tap into anything you want. And within your clairs, why not? Why can't you get psychic hits for yourself? Of course you can. You just have to learn to trust and ask spirit, I want more of this. And then, and you will get it because I do. And I love that I do. And I ask for more. Like, I want to know, I need to know. So I'll be like, hey, heads up. Like, how is my day going to be today? And then the interesting part, as you learn tarot, and I found for myself throughout my day, if I didn't have tarot cards and I was talking to somebody, all of a sudden, because I was extremely clairvoyant, I would get the image of the tarot card in front of that person. I'd be like, oh, okay, I understand now. And I just felt like I was seeing tarot cards everywhere I would go. So if I'm having a conversation with you, I'd see like an image of this tarot card and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, so they are in the energy of birthing an idea." And then as I'm talking to them, if they would share, "Guess what? I'm about to do this or I'm looking at doing that and I'm so excited and I'm on this new journey." I'd be like, "Yep." Because Spirit just confirmed it for me because I saw the image before they started sharing their story. And I think that's so cool. And in the beginning of my journey, because that was one of my strongest clairs, it was clairsentience and clairvoyance. That was one of my strongest clairs. So I saw tarot cards everywhere I went. I didn't have a deck. I would just like 3D, see the card when I was talking to the person. And I always thought it was so cool as they shared their story to begin to unfold. It was like, ah, that's why you show me that card. So start to trust and don't be surprised if that happens to you. It may not, but I find it does because you are working with pictures, and pictures is what clairvoyance is. And then I have met people throughout my journey that love to watch TV, love to watch movies. So they don't get pictures so much, they get movie clips. They get constant movie clips as they're meeting people, or they wake up in the morning like, Spirit, what is it that I need to know today? And they'll get a little movie clip, and it's like, oh, okay. And then they pay attention, just like we did with the cards. When you choose your tarot card of the day, they pay attention to that little movie clip that they downloaded in the morning, go throughout their day and be like, ah, that's how it fits into my life. Because that's super important. And let's do one more card because find I always find these cards so interesting. Okay, the sun card. So, you know what's really cool about tarot is you can have yes cards and you can have no cards. And the sun card is going to be one of those yes cards because it's warm and fuzzy and good vibes. This is a good vibe card. Remember, I told you the sun. What do we do when the sun comes out? We go outside and we play. And we are in that inner child moment. We are having so much fun being out. So if this card shows up for you, let's say you pull it first thing in the morning, you're asking Spirit, what is it that I need to do? Guess what? It's going to be an awesome day. It is going to be such an awesome day. And if you're asking about a question or something within your life, it's still going to be an awesome day. And then here's the thing, because I know some of you are like, Reverse cards. What do reverse cards mean? Well, they all have a different meaning, but within the sun, because it is such a good day, it doesn't turn to the opposite of, oh, now you're going to have a shitty day. No, no, no. All it means is, hey, you know what? That good day, maybe there's just a couple more delays. If you're thinking of something, maybe you had a question like, hey, am I going to get into that university? Am I going to get that job? Well, there could just be a delay. Maybe it's going to take them an extra week or two to figure out, but it's still going to work out. You're still getting into that university. You're still getting that job. Their hiring process is an extra couple of weeks longer. Maybe somebody was sick. Maybe they had to delay the meeting where the HR get together to decide on the candidates. If it's a job that you're looking for, it just means there's a little bit of delay, but it's still working in your favor. So I want you guys to get excited about your life. As you walk through your life, look around. And for those that want to join me on the intuitive tarot journey, pull a card of the day. I strongly, strongly encourage you to pull a card of the day and look at it and be like, how does this fit into my life? What is the message that spirit is showing me? And what I love about the tarot is, and I know people do with oracle cards, and that's good too, because if you're like, oh, Maria, the tarot, you're intimidated by it. There's nothing to be intimidated by it. But I have met people that are intimidated by it. Then use your oracle cards. And it's just spirit giving you a heads up because sometimes when we are so stressed out or so busy, or maybe you're so tired and you haven't been sleeping well, or, sometimes life just happens. And when you pull a card, it's just a nudge from spirit going, hey, you, I haven't forgotten about you. Here's your message for the day. And I want you to trust it. So, for those of you that want to join me on the intuitive tarot journey, it begins next Thursday, September 11th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are in Australia, that would actually be Friday morning for you if you guys want to join us. So just look at your local times. They have those time zone converters on the internet. I use them all the time. See if you're not sleeping and you're awake. Come join us. It is pre-recorded, so if you miss a class, don't worry about it. I send out the Zoom recordings each week for you guys to review, for you to have those aha moments. There's plenty of time to ask questions in class. There's plenty of time to practice. And I am here to support you and to do live coaching calls each week. And I just want you to get excited about your life. I want you to get excited about opening up your intuition because remember, that is your birthright. And we are going to have fun playing with all the clairs. And we're going to see what is your strongest clair. And then at the end of the course, it'll be interesting to see, did the clairs change? Did all of a sudden one that wasn't so strong all of a sudden become stronger? So you had your clair knowing. You had where you just know things. You had your clairvoyance where you just see things like you see those images, the movie clips, or your clairsentience. And then there's the smelling clair. Can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head, where you just smell things, but there's nothing in the room, but you can smell it. Or clairaudience, where you hear, because some people will be like, I just heard a voice say something to me, but it's not, it's your spirit guide. And you know what? When people do the clairaudience, very, very extremely rare do they actually hear a voice outside of themselves. I think I've only heard it a few times in my life. I know I've heard it when I've been with friends and a sparrow come by and be like, did you hear that? And no one's around. It's like, did you hear that person call my name? And nobody is there. And that's spirit being like, Maria. And then my friends were like, what the hell is that? I was like, oh my goodness, someone just called my name. But it's only the two of us and there's nobody. So that does happen. You're going to hear that when people do like paranormal investigations, they'll hear stuff. But it is extremely rare. Usually when people say clairaudience, it's thoughts that are in their mind and I get that all the time when spirits like, oh, I just heard spirit say this, and it's just a thought that comes into your mind that you know is not yours because you weren't thinking about it and it's just a random thing and you're like, oh, look at that. Look what I just got from spirit. And then again, guys, I will say it again and again, trust your intuition. The more you trust it, the stronger it gets. And that's your birthright in this lifetime to live an aligned, abundant life. So, for those of you that want to go on this fun journey of opening up your intuition through the tarot cards, just head on over to my website and sign up. Wishing you guys all an awesome day. Happy manifesting, happy connecting to your intuition and getting to know your energy and just trust it. And most importantly, be in that play energy of a little kindergarten kid that's discovering the world for the first time. I want you guys to discover yourselves, your soul, and get excited about learning more and more about you and being aligned with your life. Wishing you all an amazing day, and I will see you when I get back. Take care, everybody. Bye. And for those that are signing up, I will see you next Thursday. Take care. Bye.